All right, welcome kings and queens. I am Queen Sheba, and today we are talking Miss Nene Leakes. That's right, problematic Nene Leakes from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Nene has decided to drop her discrimination lawsuit against Andy Cohen, other executives, Bravo, and some of the allegations included being blacklisted, blocked from opportunities, and also a lucrative opportunity on a series radio show. Nene. I believe Nene has seen and heard some things that very well may have been racist, places, biased, offensive, but it didn't matter then. And I believe it didn't matter to her then because it wasn't about her, nor was it angled towards her. She was the top dog. And in my opinion, she was a willing participant. Nene has dealt some of the most vicious verbal blows on camera. She built her brand off of verbally dominating other women. By the way, if this is your first time tuning in, I'm Queen Sheba and I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television. I hone in on the behavioral and the psychological traits of the Black experience. I create art by way of dialogue. In my opinion, Nene, you reap what you sow. Toward the end of her career on Bravo TV, we watched her. She became a bully, willingly. So Nene, tell us, was that in the contract? And no one was off limits to her. The women, the camera crew, production, and even the therapist that she bullied. My question is, how come she didn't speak out when she attacked and body shamed both Portia and Kenya Moore for being pregnant? She even went as far as insinuating that the baby Kenya was carrying was a water buffalo. I kid you not. Go back, check the tapes. Was that the racism you were referring to in your lawsuit? The same hand you played, Nene, you were dealt. And ultimately, you played yourself. And Bravo gave you those walking papers. Women like Nene Leakes, they're very tricky. Very, very tricky, right? They'll kick you while you're down. And in her defense, it's no fault of hers. Nene didn't have a bonding experience with her mother. And I think she shared that maybe in season 3 or season 4. As a result, in my opinion, from my observations of her behavior on the show and also outside of the show, it's impacted how she shows up in her friendships. We've watched her throw folks to the wayside when they didn't agree with her or follow her orders. Nene, in my opinion, is a deeply wounded woman who, again, I mention this a lot. She was rewarded for her dark and her tumultuous behavior by way of reality television because it was entertaining. It's funny, jaw-dropping. And guess what? They make money off of it, right? Listen, Nene has said a lot, and she was willing to die on that hill when she sued Bravo. She couldn't keep her mouth shut. She said a lot. Something she said I probably would not have said if I were involved in a lawsuit. Nene even went as far as threatening to release tapes and audio recordings. Hence the reason why I don't trust people. Don't trust folks. Okay? For months, she was on a smear campaign. And one thing I know for sure, you don't do all of that to simply wake up on a Monday morning and say, you know what, forget about that. What are your thoughts? Why in the world do you think she would drop this lawsuit all of a sudden? Did she just wake up today in a beautiful, loving mood and she decided to choose peace? No, I don't think so. I'd probably guess some sort of a deal and or an arrangement was worked out behind the scenes. And I believe it was irresistible, allegedly. So she had to eat crow, baby. You know, like they say, a dog returns to his vomit. She had to go back. She backed down, I believe, and she took what was on the table, whatever it was. I don't know this to be true. This is just my opinion. Okay? She still has a right to come back and sue. I don't believe she will. If you're still here and you're still tuned in and you're new, it's your first time here, if you don't mind hitting that like and subscribe button, I'm almost to 1,000 subs. I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's move on. There's a $5 million price tag allegedly floating out here in these Bravo streets. And I can't help but to wonder if she wants to throw her hat in the ring to make a return back to the show. Crazy, right? But shit, people will do anything for money. It was rumored that Portia was up for consideration. But wouldn't it be interesting if old Nene Leakes came crawling back to the same hand that fed her? If you do, Nene, you'd be shooting yourself in the foot. When you think about the level, think about it, y'all. When you think about the level of engagement that she took to Twitter and social media platforms, you think those old men, those old executives are not going to take those threats to heart? It's chess, not checkers. And mark my word, they will play you, Nene, and then they're going to slay you. If you have indeed accepted a deal behind the scenes. Bravo, you created a monster. And we all know snakes cannot be tamed, and they will bite. As a matter of fact, it is advised, if and when feeding a snake that's a pet, don't ever feed them alone, just you and them. Their nature is to strike, and no one's off limits.